Alright, so before I even really get into the video, I just want to say right now that this off-season is about to suck. And I mean that in terms of park visits overall and actual uploading. I know recently I haven't even been uploading that well in general, so I actually took what might be my last park visit like 1 week ago all the way until like April. This is going to be really sucky. So like I'm going to be going half a year without coasters. But yeah, that's going to be trash. And in terms of uploading, I mean, I'm trying. I really am trying, but it's kind of hard with school because it's literally being a punch to the face right now. Like everything is getting thrown at me so hard. But I am trying, and I really am sucking at uploading right now. It's been like 2 weeks since I did a video, and I'm usually not this bad with it. But yeah, I'm going to be trying really hard to get content out. But anyways, I just wanted to get that out of the way, just a little warning, in case this becomes a normal thing for the next few months. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into this actual video. I'm going to be counting down my top 10 elements on Steel Curtain. This is the S&S Hyper Coaster at Kennywood. It is pretty good. It's a really fun ride. I was a tad disappointed by it. So coming in at the number 10 spot, we are going to have that cutback. Now, this is the one inversion near the end of the ride. And honestly, these cutbacks, specifically the Steel Curtain one, it just really doesn't feel that special. It doesn't really even feel like an inversion that much. It just wasn't that great. It didn't do much for me. I mean, it was okay. Like, you got a little bit of whip to it, but that's only because, you know, you were going so fast and this coaster has really good pacing. But then again, the downside is because you were going so fast, you didn't even really feel like you were inverting that much. So it was kind of useless. I didn't really care for it that much. Number 9 is going to be that step-up airtime hill right before the corkscrew. This is that little pop of airtime, and it's not a lot. It's really not at all. It is just like a slight pop, but it was actually decent because it's a surprise of the ride. There are a couple of surprises on this ride that I will get to talking about here in a little bit, and this is definitely one of them, actually. It's a nice ejector pop. I didn't really expect it to give that much because it was just really small and you were going upwards anyway. So that was nice, but then again, it's just really not that great. Number 8 is going to be the element that follows that up. It is the corkscrew, actually. This corkscrew is decent because you go through it pretty quickly. But again, I didn't really feel any force with it. I was surprised. It didn't even feel that whippy. Like, you went through it so fast, but there just wasn't that much whip. I don't understand that with this ride. There's like no force to it whatsoever. I mean, you hit the bottom of that drop and you hit your max speed and you don't even feel any force at all. Like, there is no force anywhere to be found on this ride. Number 7 is going to be the step down airtime hill. This is the one that gives it a little better than the step up one. This is the one that is right after that banana roll. It's surprising because it was actually really strong. I'd say this was the strongest moment of air on the ride. Not the best moment, but definitely the strongest, so that was pretty cool. Moving on to 6 is going to be that sea serpent roll. This is basically like 2 corkscrews in the air, but they're put together. Honestly, at first, I kind of freaked out over this element, but the more and more I think about it, I'm like, wow, this was actually kind of dumb. Like, not dumb in a sense where it's like just a bad element, just dumb where I'm like, why did I freak out over 2 corkscrews that had no force at all? You know what I mean? Like that. So, I don't know. I thought they were cool because they were just so fast. Every element on this ride is fast. That's why I love it. The pacing is phenomenal. But I don't know. I guess they're just not really that great. I mean, when you go upwards, it's pretty cool. And the exiting of it is okay. But I rode in the front row, so I didn't get much whip at all with these 2 ones. But I don't know. They were just okay. Into the top 5. Number 5 is the banana roll. I didn't really like this thing much at first. But then again, when I thought about it more and more over time, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty unique. This is a cool element. It's not that great. It is incredibly overrated by the people who call it the best moment on the ride. Absolutely not. But it is decent. It is cool in a sense that it takes you up super high, super fast, and then you just kind of like slowly invert around and then go back down. So it was nice. I didn't mind it, but it was just not the best part of the ride. Number 4 is going to be another shocking moment of this coaster. It is that dive loop. And the dive loop is not this high because of the inverting itself. It is because when you go upwards into it, you actually get a pop of ejector. This is what I'm talking about. I love how this ride has so many little pops of ejector here and there that you're not really expecting much out of. And it's throwing you to the left a little at the same time. So some nice laughs there. It was pretty cool. I liked this element. Into the top 3. These are the best parts of the ride by far. Like, none of the other elements come close to these. Number 3 is going to be that sustained airtime hill right after that sea serpent roll. This part of the ride was like decent. This was a part of the ride that I was expecting a lot out of, and I got what I was expecting, but at the same time, it wasn't as good as I was thinking. I mean, it gives you what you're expecting when you go in. It's a sustained moment of airtime. It looks like that off-ride, and you get it. but it's not even like ejector. It's flowjector, I guess, I'll say that. But you're going through it so fast that it doesn't sustain as long as you'd want it to. It is sustained, but it's not as much as I was hoping for. Still a really fun moment of the ride. Definitely the best moment of airtime on this coaster. Now, number 1 and 2 are actually by far the best parts of this ride. Like, none of the others come close, and I will literally fight anyone who tries to differ. No, I'm kidding, but like, actually, they literally destroy every other part of this ride. And number 2 is going to be that Top Gun stall. This is one of the most whippy inversions I've ever experienced. It is so good. I was not expecting that much whip out of it at all. It just throws you to the right and then drags you right back to the left so quickly. The pacing is so great going in because you have this little straight section of track and you're like getting a breather. You're like, whoa, this ride is so cool. It's smooth and fun. And then boom, you just whip straight to the right so hard. Such a whippy and aggressive moment of this coaster. I really love it. But we'll be moving on to the number 1 spot. And obviously, I don't think this is a shocker. I think a lot of other people were dragged down by this part of the ride because they were expecting it to be way better than it actually was. And I'll agree, it is a little underwhelming, but it is still the best part of the ride easily. And it is that first drop. This first drop is so good. It's a 197-foot tall inversion in the sky. It is so freaking huge. And off-ride, it looks really visually impressive. I'm not going to lie. It starts to take you to the left and then inverts you, of course. You are 197 feet in the air at that point. And then you start twisting straight down and you start picking up speed. And then you level out and there is no force at all. I was really disappointed with that force. But the drop itself was actually really good. This is a really fun drop. I loved it. Definitely my favorite part of the ride just because of how huge it was. And you're picking up speed as you're going downward. So it was really cool. I liked this drop. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, guys. That was my top 10 elements on Steel Curtain. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Post your comments down in the section below. What is your favorite part of Steel Curtain? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Screw Dan. And until next time, Coaster fans, I will see you later.